We are live.
Welcome back to the Post Credits podcast with Nathan and Steven. Today we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's been 2 days since it came out. It feels like it's been. I feel like this movie's been on my mind forever.
It's
Still,
technically been one.
it's
Well,
ever. That's
but
true.
we
I guess it
saw
was
it today.
Friday.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know why they do that now because I think it used to be Thursday midnight releases, but now it's just Thursday.
Yeah, it's just Thursday. Like
Okay.
we saw it at 4:30.
Even on the Spider-Man like Instagram page, they're like, "Oh, dropping this Thursday," but the date officially is
I
Friday.
know it's weird. Whatever.
Anyway, so we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, and we already did our initial thoughts, but honestly, Steven and I didn't get to talk as much, and we are, the co-hosts. So this is for us to get our thoughts out, and I'm sure there'll be follow-ups to this about lasting effects. And point is, there was a lot that happened. We liked it, and so did everyone else. So
Yes, Nathan. On an not irrelevant, but just on a
yeah,
different note,
yeah,
Rich Matzinger just followed our podcast. So
yeah. I went down my list of like following on my own, and I like followed people, and
I know,
like
but I'm just excited
I
because it's
I thought it
Rich.
would be funny. Yeah,
I love
I chose
Rich.
people I thought would be entertaining. So
Anyways, yeah, we're talking about No Way Home today.
yep,
We're gonna have a educated discussion, not whatever you saw last time was just it was
it
all
made
over.
for good clips though. If I'm being
It
honest,
was funny.
I didn't think it would, and I found some hilarious stuff about spider juice and whatnot.
Dude, Thomas was
I think for this we break it up into just general thoughts and then just likes and just talk
yeah.
about what we enjoyed. And I don't think we do a full walkthrough, but I think we break it into segments, as in like the villains or like
Mhm.
Peter's arc or whatever, because there's just so much to cover, and it's easier for me to clip stuff if it's organized a little bit. So
Yeah. Okay.
general thoughts, you can go.
Let's get into it. So this movie was amazing for just so many reasons. Obviously the fan service. I mean, I can't not like the movie if I grew up with
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
yeah,
Like it it's a movie that everyone is going to love because like I it just doesn't upset any fans, you know? Like because Tom Holland Spider-Man is kind of growing into the Spider-Man that like Raimi fans wanted him to be.
mhm.
Like I just saw a thing. It was talking about how like this is like the comic book iteration of Spider-Man where he's on his own, living in like on his own, playing rent in college,
Yeah,
made his own suit. Like it's not he's completely detached from Tony Stark, like at the end.
100%. Yeah, and everyone. So
And obviously, we got to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So people are gonna love that no matter who you like.
yeah,
Um, so it's just like a movie made for any Spider-Man fan and just like anyone. Like anyone's gonna enjoy this movie.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just really good.
I I think fan service has the most negative connotation to it, but it should not. Like
Yeah.
the way you described it was perfect because like fan service, like these movies are for the fans, and if you don't have fan service, then you just have like a dragging movie. Like it was fan service done right. It was amazing, and it made me so happy because, like you said, it's like pleasing everyone because
Yeah.
Tom
Yeah.
Holland became the Spider-Man people wanted. They got to see their Spider-Man, and it closed this and set up the next trilogy so perfectly. Like it was everything I like wanted and more, and like
Yeah.
it was so good that I overlooked the nitpicks I have because you can nitpick so much if you wanted, but why
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
there? It's
Yeah.
like Endgame in that sense.
Yeah. No, I get exactly what you're saying. Like, in a sense, this movie, the plot is sometimes kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie,
It is by
but
no
it's just
means a
like you
perfect
enjoy
movie.
watching it, so you
Uh-huh.
don't really care that much. It's like exactly like Endgame, where it's just like jumping around. Where Infinity War feels a lot more structured, planned out.
Of course.
I guess that's what I was trying to say in the last podcast
I
before
understood you.
Danny like yelled at me.
Okay, but yeah.
I mean, obviously, both all three of those movies are constant action, but it just feels like Infinity War is like just like I don't know how to describe it, but it's a lot less fan service and just more like a
This
really well written
yeah,
movie.
you could
Um,
feel the structure in it. I know what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. Where like this movie is more like Endgame, but it's just like it's so good.
Mhm. I honestly think from the time Doctor Strange gets trapped in the mirror dimension to the credits, it is
Yeah,
like a perfect movie, like 10
yeah,
out of 10. But I think the journey to get there was a little choppy, but that's what you look over because you don't care because the second half is
yeah,
so good and you know what's coming, and like you can kind of feel that Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be before this. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what the plot was going to be because now it makes sense for Multiverse of Madness. Like, oh, Doctor Strange has to deal with what he did. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like short answer is it was
I
amazing.
know. It's just like a really good movie, despite like anything
Yeah.
that could have happened. I think it could have been better if maybe they cut some stuff. Like it is a really long movie, and
Yeah.
some of it's just not necessary to the plot. Like I feel
Mhm.
like they just are trying to fill screen time sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, like the whole thing with the villains, like they're trying to cure them and then they don't, and then they cure them anyways.
Yeah.
Like it kind of goes back on itself a little bit. Um, I'm not hating on the movie. I'm
No,
just
no,
like,
it's
yeah,
fine to have like faults with it. I
yeah.
have my own, but
Um, and then yeah, but like it's not like it goes back on itself in any major ways where like the consequences don't feel real. Like,
yeah.
like the whole message at the end.
Well, the consequences feel real.
Yeah, dude, I don't it like
I have
makes me sad.
I don't know whether to get into it now, but this is easily the most emotional movie of the year for me. But like
Yeah,
honestly, the past Endgame was so like bittersweet. This was like just bitter, sad, like oh gosh, like it was
yeah,
just like this, like I did not expect that going in.
yeah. No, I want to talk about Aunt May's death just really quick, or not
Yeah.
really quick. I mean, we can go into it, but
No,
like
I have so
I was thinking about this, and it's like I personally didn't get as sad as Tony's death.
I did.
And I thought about it. I think I know why. It's because Tony's death is like you as a person are
Yeah.
sad that he
Yeah.
is dying. Like you do not want him to die
Hmm.
at all because you love the character. You're grown. Like he's like one of the most beloved characters in the MCU. Whereas Aunt May, it's like I like her character obviously, but it's
Yeah.
not going to compare to Tony. But you're sad because like it's like Peter. Like you feel for
No,
him,
it
like
100%.
on a personal level. Like damn, you know?
It goes, I mean, it goes to Tom Holland's acting, I think, because the reason, like, the saddest part of Tony's death was like Peter's reaction to me,
Yeah,
like to me.
that yeah,
And the saddest part of Spider-Man's death in Infinity War was Peter's like
yeah,
how he handled it. And Aunt May's death, I went back and watched it on YouTube because people pirate it.
yeah.
It was like a 3 minute clip of him just like crying on her chest, and it is like so hard to watch, but
No,
you
yeah,
can't
it's
look away.
heartbreaking.
And
It
it's just so that's what made me feel it. I realized,
yeah,
you know.
and it just compares to Uncle's Ben death
Oh my gosh.
in the first movie, and it's just like
I
it's
didn't
like
feel
you laugh
anything in
at that.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I mean, you just haven't built like you haven't seen their relationship, you haven't built connection with these characters yet, where it's like you feel something. Like this movie did it really well. That's why I feel like deaths in movies in like one movie, like it's like a standoff. Like if a
Yep.
character dies, you're not ever gonna really feel something, you know? Like it has to be in like a TV show or like a movie series where it's like there's
Yeah.
been multiple movies and you
Where
like
you could grow
really
with them.
feel for like the characters and you
Hmm.
like really like them. Um, but like yeah, I just don't think it works that well in like standoff. I mean, that's just a side note, but
I think you're right in that sense because the most powerful deaths I can think of are in series or
yeah,
continuations or sagas. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's talk about the villains. I think okay. I don't even know who was my favorite because I love Doc Ock and I love what they did with him. But Willem Dafoe freaking like murdered this role. Like it was
Yeah.
like better than the original, in my opinion. He was like insane. I could not even, I don't know. I didn't expect to see that much of him, but
No, his acting, like his acting is really good in the first one. It's just
yeah.
laughable because of
Yeah,
the
it's because
director
it's
style and just like everything about it.
he's like sinister in this. Like he's
Yeah,
like
no, it like
evil.
takes his acting and it like takes like puts it this tone on it. It's just like whoa, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did kill the role. And like the transition from like it sucks that you actually feel for off the fuck, what is his name?
Norman Osborn.
Norman. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Norman Osborn, just because he's like trapped in this body. That was the thing, right? Because Danny was saying he was pretending. That's not true. Like
I
he
don't think
actually
he
is
was
he
yeah,
has a bipolar disorder. Or not like
I
a
think he was pretending from the point they got to the apartment because I think
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
he
yeah.
went to Aunt May, that was like genuine because he's like, I don't have my son, I don't
No,
know
no, no,
anyone
no,
here.
no.
Like,
That was yeah.
yeah,
It was like yeah, yeah. No, it was basically when they got in the apartment, like a little bit after. No, it was like right when Doc Ock asked him, how are you gonna feel to be free
mhm.
finally? Like that moment you could tell it was like the Green Goblin and not Norman. And then obviously Peter gets his spider sense.
That was amazing. Like,
That was like
we've
good,
not
really.
seen
Yeah.
spider sense, and they've called it the tingle, but like, I know that's what I'm saying about it pleasing everyone. They got their spider sense, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
It was the best
Yeah.
like display of it.
Um, yeah, it was cool to see that. And then, yeah, I just Norman, yeah, he definitely like from that point on, he was just like this crazy psycho person. And obviously, I mean, I wouldn't say you. I mean, you did call it, but you got that from like sources, right? Where you saw like
With
um
what?
that Willem Dafoe was gonna put him through the most like traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, I, the trailers were kind of portraying it as a
Yeah,
darker
yeah,
tone, and Defoe's whole like goal in the first one is just torment Peter, and like you
yeah,
just like knew like it's not going to be Electro or Doc Ock, like
yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
so yes,
Um. So yeah, and then that ended up happening. I no, I genuinely thought when Ame like the glider came in, I was like, oh, she died.
Mhm.
Like like it stabbed her, and then
Yeah,
she was fine. I was like, what? What?
yeah, that was a weird misdirection. They shouldn't have done it like that, but I like how she was like faking she was okay in
Yeah,
order to
yeah, yeah,
give
yeah.
that with great power quote. But the way the movie did it was a little confusing, not the way
Mhm.
Anime did it. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I thought that Ame's delivery with the line was good. Like I didn't. I thought I like.
yeah, I thought that was a
I
weird
didn't think it was
criticism
cheesy.
that our friends had.
Yeah, it's just
I
like
really enjoyed that. But
because it makes complete sense for Peter's character at that moment, where it's like
yeah,
he doesn't he's given up on
oh,
like
we'll get
trying
into
to
his
help
whole
these
arc.
people.
His
Yeah,
arc
no,
was
do I
like
actually really like his
amazing.
arc?
That's why I can't even criticize the plot because like
His
his arc
arc
was
is
better than the actual like
yeah,
plot.
you
Like
know, yeah, I
they
completely agree.
oh this is so good.
I
I'm
know.
like thrilled
No,
because
like
Far From Home
it
and
has like pieces of really good writing where it's not
yeah,
just fan
of course.
service.
No, they and every villain like we were talking about like they except for maybe two of them they actually have their own motivations. Like Doc Ock though and Green Goblin, like seeing them talk and interact for some reason was so weird because
Yeah,
they're both in the Raven trilogy, but they never like meet.
I know.
But he talks about how he knows Norman all the time, and
Yeah,
it's
they
like
know,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
Um, yeah, I thought that was like cool to see these characters that we've just like never seen before interact.
It was like Infinity War, how they just meet and talk.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think I mean Lizard was like I feel like he was just a joke. Like they even pointed out the flaws in
yeah,
Tasm One, which was funny. I'm glad like they're criticizing their own movie
of course.
just because
Self
it's
awareness.
not that good. Like and like the whole plot is so ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like he
them
just wants
turning
to
people into
turn the city
lizards.
into
It's they wisely like make fun of it while also like not just completely destroying it. Like
yeah, yeah. Um, and then who's the other? Oh, Sandman. Yeah, I mean, I think his character was kind of
they did all
underused. It would have
yeah,
been cool to see. I mean, I guess Doc Ock kind of got the arc that I was thinking he was gonna get, where he was gonna
yeah,
help Peter in the end.
yeah.
Because I mean, that was set up from the very like beginning thing we saw him. He was like, "Oh, how can I help?" And then he's fighting Electro, and then or like I would have liked to see him talk about his daughter more because that was actually a really cool concept in the or not what I mean they didn't execute it very well, but like the fact that he has a family and like that was the reasoning behind like why he was doing the things he did. I mean his character can be actually like pretty complex, but he was pretty surface level in this, you know.
Yeah, my mic fell out, so that's why
Good.
tinkering. Okay.
Um but yeah, I think the other three were really good. Doc Ock, I liked how he was like, it like dude, it was just like so refreshing to see them actually like find like a good solution to the stupidest like plot, not plot device, but just like plot point in the first or the second Spider-Man movie where it's just his chip broke and he could have just fixed that and he wouldn't fine and there would have been no conflict. And then it did that and it fixed everything. Um, and then we got to see like um Electro is like almost I don't want to say Killmonger. I mean, he reminded me of him just a bit because he's like greedy for power. Um, and he like sees this as an opportunity to continue exploring and expanding his thing. And then obviously we talk about Green Goblin just being, he's almost like the Joker where like he doesn't really have a purpose other than to see
Them
the
fall.
world burn.
Do you hear me all right now?
Yes, I
I
can.
just had to flip it and like anyway. As far as you, yeah, I was listening to the whole thing, so I was like, Sandman, you're right. He was written well, honestly, in the Raimi trilogy, and it's like they, yeah, they didn't really do much with him here because I think they're trying to give the spotlight to the main two, but
Yeah.
and Doc Ock, like he it was cool seeing Otto Octavius again because you're right. Like it's such a dumb. The chip breaks and oh they take him over. Like it's not dumb, but like it's a
Why
little
are the
weak.
robots even evil in the first place? It doesn't
They
make
just
any
want to
sense.
make the sun again. Like they just want to finish the science
I
project and like
know.
they like the solution is like so easy and he does it and like it was
Yeah.
cool.
Um. Yeah, I thought the villains were cool.
They
I'm
were.
glad they didn't. I'm not glad, but like I don't think it would have changed much to make it a Sinister Six.
No.
Kind of just them like doing what they want. It wasn't like an
Yeah, them
organized group.
existing is fine. Yeah, a Sinister Six movie has never been like a high priority for me. I know people want to see it, but like
Yeah. I mean,
I
this
just
is like
liked
the
seeing the
closest
villains
thing
in
I feel like
general.
we're gonna get to it.
Yeah,
Unless
probably.
they actually set up like another one with the villains already in the MCU,
Yeah,
you know, because they have like a lot at
they
their
do
disposal.
floating around.
Yeah. Um, just while we're on villains, I just want to touch on the like Venom.
Yeah,
Um, I am personally kind of glad
yeah.
that they wrote him out just because it would not have.
We were
It just
already talking anyway, just about how Tom Hardy's character
it's just
fits.
like
Because
not.
why would he be evil towards
It's
Tom
not.
Holland? Like,
Yeah. It's just like his character isn't evil, and his tone is just like so drastically. I mean, it was similar, most similar to this movie out of all three movies, just because
yeah,
this one's darker and grittier, but like
yeah.
still not the same. I mean, I guess like comedy still, but it's just like it's not the same, you know?
However, it was actually funny to hear him talk about Thanos and stuff because he does feel like a separate like entity, and like hearing him
Yeah,
talk about Thanos in the
it
MCU was
was
like kind of
funny. Yeah.
weird. But they did it right. Like if you're gonna use him, they did it correctly, and just to leave the symbiote. Also, your boy called that post-credit scene
Yeah,
Venom.
it was
But
nice.
yeah, that's what we do on the
We
podcast.
honestly called most of
It's
like,
pretty ridiculous. Happy was the only thing we got wrong. It was Aunt May, but
yeah, yeah, you know, because yeah, Danny called there was gonna be a character death like related
yeah,
to Peter. I
it,
said that the death, I mean, he would blame himself, even though I was talking about one of the
he
villains.
most definitely did, and it
And he
was
like, yeah,
yeah,
and like that was like this whole driving thing. I did not see Peter like breaking completely and almost becoming a murderer like that. I honestly, I probably we should have called that. That was like,
yeah.
um, and then you know, Daredevil, we said that he would be his
Oh,
lawyer, but
oh
like
my
that was like a
gosh.
major theory.
Let's touch on the small Daredevil thing. I like was so I knew he was gonna be there, but I was so happy to
I
see
know
him.
that was amazing.
His entrance, just the cane, and they like zoomed to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Matt Murdock." Da 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 da.
That
And I
was
was
yeah,
like,
no, I'm so glad that he's there.
"Fire!" It was a 50-second clip, and it was like perfect because people are like, "Oh, I wanted to see him in the Daredevil suit," but like, no, you did. It's just to confirm he's gonna be in
No,
the
yeah,
future.
a, a part of me thought he was going to team up
Yeah,
just because I was like, oh, maybe Toby and Andrew aren't going to be in this movie, and like it's just gonna be Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Spider Man. I was like, I mean, that can make sense, you know.
yeah,
Um, and then I'm actually glad it was a cameo. Like we called that it was gonna be a cameo. We were like,
yeah.
if he's gonna show up, it's probably be a cameo. Um, but also we called Daredevil like a really really long time ago before it became a major theory. I
Mhm.
swear we talked. I don't know if we talked
Oh,
about
we
it on the
no,
podcast.
immediately after like Far From Home happened, I remember everyone
Yeah,
was
we
like,
were
"Oh,
like,
he's gonna need a
he's a
lawyer,"
lawyer. Yeah,
and we're
that
like,
was exactly what we
"Daredevil."
said. I know.
I know,
Yeah. Um,
but that one's not on record, unfortunately.
yeah, I don't think it is.
It's
But
okay.
yeah. Um, and then Toby and Andrew, I guess we can talk about them.
Dude, I'm
Amazing.
that was like I didn't even know I was gonna love it so much, but I did. It wasn't even nostalgia necessarily because Toby isn't like
The
the Toby I
same. It's
remember,
just yeah.
but it's in a good way. Because if he was the one I remembered,
It
I
would
don't
not.
know if that would have fit.
It
Like Pizza Time is not really necessary in that movie.
would have been nice if he got also good a line, but I'm glad that we got Green Goblin's line. That was funny.
I'm something of a scientist myself. Did you notice? I saw it on TikTok that his conversation with Doc Ock was a callback to Spider-Man 2. They're talking, and he's like, "Oh, Dr. Connors tells me you're the best student, but you're lazy." And then Peter says, "Trying to do better." Then they talk again on the Statue of Liberty, and he's like, "Peter, my boy, how are you?" He's like, "Trying to do better." It was a callback. He got one of his lines, but I didn't even know it in the moment.
I didn't know that either.
But it was like I love that they got to talk again because like they actually had a good relationship in Spider-Man 2, but
No,
it
yeah.
wasn't
It's
fleshed out
cool.
enough because he broke his chip so early. And
Mm,
like Doc Ock just being a good guy was so cool. Like
I
it made me
know.
happy.
Yeah, it was nice.
Anyway, Toby and Andrew.
Um, I'll talk about Toby first, just because I have a lot to say about Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew was amazing.
Yeah, I know. Toby, I like the fact that he is this like older mentor. I mean, Andrew is like
But
that
Andrew's
to
still a
an
kid very
extent.
much,
Yeah.
so yeah.
But he's like this older Spider-Man who's like been through
He's lived a
everything that
life.
Peter has experienced or is going to experience, whatever. And he becomes a mentor for Peter in this movie, or like, I mean, almost brothers. I mean, that's what they say, kind
Yeah.
of.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I like, yeah, it just would not have been good if he was like Toby from the
Yeah.
trilogy. It's just like
Yeah,
his
because he
character
had,
is so
like you said,
goofy and
he's
just like,
matured anyway, like
yeah,
time wise. So
yeah. I mean, his acting's not as good as Andrew Garfield's, but I still thought it was really good.
it was. He
Um, okay, just before we get into Andrew, dude, the conversation of those three, that has to be improv. Like the
it
way they're
was
talking is so it's just like not naturally flowing. It's
one of the
awkward and like
funniest scenes
it's
I've
so
like,
funny.
and like I like Tom's like, what's some of the coolest villains you fought? Like,
I know.
I would 100% ask them that if I was Tom Holland. Like,
I
we
know.
talk about all the time how relatable Tom Holland is, but he is like the most relatable character. I swear,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
even after he like lost Aunt May, he was like, oh, what's
I
he's
know.
just a teenager, you know?
No, and then Toby, I don't know why it's so funny when he's like, "Wait, I'm just on the. You fought an alien?" And
Yeah,
I was like, "What?"
in space, and then Andrew's like, I've never fought anyone. It's just
I
like
know,
the
dude. No,
greatest
okay,
banter in the
okay. We're
world.
just kidding, Andrew, because Andrew is, dude. He's just amazing.
I
He's like, they take because I mean he's supposed to be funny in TASM, and he like has like these like quips, but there's
yeah,
just like people are
they
dying.
gave him MCU writing, and they
But
just
and I
made him
know,
the
and he's
best.
funny, and he's just amazing, and I love him, and I want a third movie now.
Even though you know that's not the right thing because they
Give
were going
me
to
a
bring
third
back
movie.
Captain Stacy.
Give me all the movies.
But yeah, okay, okay, thank you.
No, they
Anyway,
could totally pick one of them and be like, as soon as they come back from No Way Home, the movie takes place there, and
yeah,
it's just like I don't know. I just wanted that so bad now.
I Andrew, like I already talked about it a little bit, but this was the second chance that he deserved because
Yeah,
childhood hero, childhood, like that's what he wanted to play, and Sony just completely screwed him. And like this was like you could tell he was like so happy playing the role because he was so
yeah,
goofy but so like MCU. It was so perfect. He was
I know.
amazing.
Yeah, um, and I just love like the self confidence issue
Yeah,
is just like such a minor thing, but it made his
yeah,
character so
yeah,
funny, and just like that 1 3 minute scene,
yeah.
just
He's like, yeah,
because it makes sense for like so many different reasons.
Mhm.
Because like, I mean, he's the one. It actually like strikes a chord, not a chord, but like it's actually deep,
Mhm.
where it's not just like surface level comedy. Because like he didn't save Gwen, like he's the one that let someone die, you know, like he
Mhm.
feels like he is not worth it to be Spider-Man, and like that makes sense for his character, but they played off as like a joke.
Yeah,
Um, and then also the fact that like he is probably the like least favorite Spider-Man out of everyone,
yeah.
but like in this movie, he's like almost the
He's
favorite.
Spider-Man 3. Like
I know,
they
and like
reference
that
him
was
as,
funny too, because he's like, yeah, it just plays on the fact that he's like,
and he mocks Rhino. Like you're right. Like they completely played off the fact that he was like they did it correctly, you know.
yeah,
And I like how they continued like conversations. Like I was saying, I wish I watched all every single Spider-Man in preparation because I only watched like half of them, I
I
think.
know, yeah.
Because the way he's talking to Max and like the lizard, like it's literally like it just picks up immediately after. I was
Mhm.
like, this feels like a sequel to all the movies, not
Yeah,
just Far
and
From
like
Home.
these people, I mean, these Spider-Mans watch these people die
Yeah.
in front of them in
So now they're
split
getting,
screen.
yeah, it's like they're getting a second chance at like
Mhm.
talking to them.
Yeah.
It was, and Andrew, okay, I have to go on a little tangent here a little bit
Mhm.
because there were, I don't like cry during movies and I didn't, but there were 3 times I was so close. And one of those times, like honestly, was when Andrew like saved MJ. I knew it was gonna happen, but
I
like
know,
just
it was
Andrew's
so
like acting the
nice.
way he looked at her and MJ's like, you okay? He's like, yeah. And he was like crying up it. I just like people who make fun of people for crying during movies or like nerding out over stuff or like
Yeah.
any of that, like these are like real people to us almost. People have like
Yeah.
heroes as like sports and anything, celebrities, but like these are like
Yeah.
idols and role models, and
I
like
know.
seeing them back on the big screen, seeing like them go through stuff and like showing real emotion, like it, like I just have to applaud the team because
I know.
whatever
No,
that was.
dude. It was just like so nice to see Andrew Garfield Spider-Man
Yeah,
get a win.
yeah, it
Like
like
after the
actually made me
two
emotional.
movies that they put him through, I don't know. The defenders of those movies are just like, I can't. I like as
We
much as I liked
Yeah.
his character in this movie, I can't defend those movies. Like
No,
they're not good.
we made an hour and 15-minute
I
podcast just
know, just
completely destroying his movies.
destroying
Yet
them.
I felt something when he saved
Yeah,
Zendaya, and like that's amazing. So
yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, I
and
just
it was
love the
it was kind
character
of funny
now.
how they brought them through Portal, which is just what they did for Endgame. Like I know it's
I
not
know.
lazy, but I just thought it was like they just bring other people through portals, and I
Yeah.
forgot that they were gonna be in the movie, and or like that they're rumored to, and then right when it opened, you could tell his little basketball head was like down
No,
the
dude.
street.
Yeah, I know. I knew immediately. I was like, "Is
He did
that
not look
Andrew?"
like
I was like, "Is
Tom.
that
Yeah,
Andrew?" No, because he's like tall. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Like his head is just like weird in this
yeah.
suit.
It's
I
like a
don't know.
football. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
cone kind of.
yeah.
And he like
And
jumped
it
on the
looked like his
ceiling
suit
and
too.
he's
And,
like,
and then he walked in and it's like the big eyes. I was like,
he
it's
did the
definitely
and
him.
he ripped off the mask like a
Oh my
beast.
gosh.
I like
Just
how Toby just walked in his straight clothes. He's like, hey.
I know.
I was like I could hear you guys laughing behind me. Every time he spoke, I just wanted to like die laughing.
It just didn't sound like him.
I know.
It's so weird.
And that hilarious touch about how Ned goes to ask him, like, you have a best friend, and he's like,
I
it's
know.
heartbreaking. And then Ned's just like scarred. And I also thought it was funny because Hobgoblin's just not happening. And it was
Yeah.
like, he's like, I'm not going to be a supervillain. I thought that was a funny thing
Yeah,
because
and dude,
those
no,
theories.
it was Tom Holland's acting that sold it at the end. He was just like so confused, and it
Yeah.
lasted like 15 seconds of just silence. And I was like, what the fuck?
He's just like, okay. And they did I like how they just like the stupid jokes of them playing their all their names are Peter Parker. Like it's just so
Yeah,
funny. And how they can't coordinate their attacks and they're just
yeah,
like, and then Andrew, like, I love you guys because they don't have friends. They're all
I
Peter.
know.
Like
Yeah,
it was just so, and they all hug at the end. And
yeah. I mean, because yeah, Toby
it's
and Andrew's
so, yeah.
Spider-Man are like alone almost,
Yeah,
other
they
than
are.
MJ for Toby, but like they don't have these like people like Tom does, so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, and they're all hugging and Tom, like it was just so
No,
like
yeah,
we all knew they were gonna be in it, but it like just like the
so
confirmation that they
amazing.
were there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were character, like they weren't cameos. Like they all
I know.
have,
Yeah, no, they're like full-blown characters in the movie.
it was amazing.
And I'm glad, I'm not glad, but like they're already different, but like they were the same and different. Like they were Peter Parker, but they weren't the same Peter Parker. And that was,
Yeah.
yeah. They just like played off of each other perfectly. And then obviously the joke, everyone saw that coming if they're gonna be in the movie about Toby's just like web coming out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah.
The spider
Dude,
juice.
yeah. And then when Tom just like, yeah, is that the only place it comes out of?
Yeah.
The jokes in the movie were really good.
It was like one of the funny ones. And people criticize MCU comedy so much, but
Sorry.
oh my god, he scared the heck out of me.
I heard Hobgoblin.
Come say
I
hi.
can.
I heard Hobgoblin and Matt
Yeah.
Murdock.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're talking about it. He's in it. Well, we'll get you on the Daredevil podcast if you want, because I know you have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
We'll get you on it.
He really liked talking about Daredevil.
Yeah, we'll get you on, Kim. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but okay, I think it's time to talk about Peter and his character, main Peter Parker, because his arc is the best thing I've seen in
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah, I mean, just like, just pointing out the obvious, like he went to Doctor Strange asking for this spell just
Let me take out
because
my
he didn't
notes.
get into MIT. Like obviously it wasn't because he didn't get into MIT, it was just
Yeah.
because like he was still doing it out of selflessness,
Mhm.
which is still in character for him, but it wasn't like he's putting the entire world at risk for his friends just to get into college, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's a little
It-
immature.
Yeah,
Not a little, but like, you know, it's
no,
immature.
it is for sure.
And then at the end you see him make like this like huge sacrifice. Like I can't even imagine.
He knows no one anymore. He lost his aunt and his friends and
I
his
know.
life.
It's
He
just
lost
like
everything.
yeah. And it's just like it's crazy to like even think about that even happening, where you're in this world that you have all these memories and no one has any memory of you at
Yeah.
all, and you're like put in this situation where you have to like keep going, you know, like he can't.
He does, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like heartbreaking to see that happen, and in the final moments with when he's talking to Zendaya and with Ned, like she's like, you have to come find me, you have to tell me that you
Ugh,
love me in purpose, like that's not gonna happen.
I
You
know, because it can't.
can't
How do you
just like
explain to
rewrite
someone?
magic, like it's not how it works. So yeah, it was just like for him to make that sacrifice was just like huge character development. um Especially after all the stuff that he went through in this movie with the death of like basically his mom and like only parent figure in his life, and then to have to lose everything else. And I was talking about it, I think it was with Joey or someone in the
Yeah,
car. It was like his character is almost experienced as much loss as like Thor, like it's almost,
yeah,
but like you see him like this resilience which like Peter Parker has shown. I talked about this in other MCU Spider-Man like podcasts. Like he has like this like fight, and he like keeps going despite the odds or despite
yeah.
like the
All the way from
circumstances.
Homecoming against
Yeah,
Vulture.
yeah. And it like really like shines through in this movie. Um, yeah,
No, not to knock Thor, but like, yeah, he became Fat Thor and stuff. But
yeah,
Peter Parker still dons the suit even after being Spider-Man ruined his life, and
yeah,
it just okay. So here are the two arcs I wrote down because we were talking about maturity, how his decision was immature, and he learns maturity at the end by having to let go. His other one was like balance between being Spider-Man. Doctor Strange represents it, but from Homecoming to Far From Home to this movie, he's like
yeah,
he has not been able to balance his life,
yeah. No, it's like causing every single conflict
and exactly, and he lets go. He learns to let go, and
of
it's like
Peter Parker.
heartbreaking, but
Yeah,
he becomes like that's why everyone's so happy with him because he became Spider-Man, and
hmm,
his whole thing is like he wants the best for the people he loves.
yeah,
And you see that with the college thing, but from the start, like the spell he does or whatever is, for his friends, not really him, honestly. And then
yeah,
he tries to help the villains. That's what pushes the plot along. He doesn't want to just send them back to their deaths. He wants to help people. Then he struggles with that, and he tells Aunt May, and she's like, "No, you did the right thing. Like that's what you do." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he follows through with it, and he gives up unselfishly to help the people he loves because like it's who he is. Like it was
yeah.
amazing.
No, yeah. Like I mean, Peter Parker's character has always just been like a huge role model
Yeah,
for me growing up, just because like even in the Toby movies, whatever, like he always has this like moral compass of
yeah,
always wanting to do good for the people around him. And I think they really executed that well in this movie.
yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I mean, he like exactly what you said. I didn't even think about that arc, but like he does let go of Peter Parker. Like
He
he
has to.
erased
Yeah,
Peter
it's
Parker from everyone.
like quite literally.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was forced
And
to let
like
go and mature.
he's like made this ultimate sacrifice of like donning Spider-Man just to help the world when he's given up everything else. Like I keep saying it, but like he did. Like everything that he's ever loved does not know him, or like, they're gone from his life.
And it's he he does it for like others still. Like when he goes to talk to them at the cafe or whatever, he
Yeah.
has this whole script. My God, that was like the other moment I almost like lost it because he's like tearing up, he's like smiling at MJ, and he has this whole
I know.
script of
No,
what to
yeah,
tell her. Like
it's yeah.
even though it might not have worked, he probably had everything thought out because he's a genius and he would have like told her and found some way, but he doesn't do it because they got into MIT, they're happy, and
Their life is like fine without
yeah,
him.
exactly. He knows their life is better off without him, and he
Yeah.
has to. Oh God, that hurt. Like I don't like that.
No, it does.
Ugh,
Because like I mean, throughout the movie, he's like trying
he
to
can't
get
balance
them.
it. Yeah.
No, but like to get them out because he knows like he doesn't want to
Hmm.
put them in danger. And Zendaya's character, or like she keeps saying, no, like we want to be included in this process.
Hmm.
And like, of course, that's what she wanted at the very end before she lost her memory. But now Peter makes makes a
Because he
choice.
sees them now, and it's like,
And like, even though it's not what like she would have yelled at him, whatever, gotten mad that he didn't, but he knows it's what's best for them to just stay out of his life because
yeah,
he's gonna put them in too much danger. It's just yeah,
it is like I left the movie just like crushed. So happy that I saw everything I did,
I
but
know.
I was just like, people criticize him all the time. Like, oh, Tom Holland doesn't go through anything. Oh, he lost his Iron Man. That's it. But like, look at this now and compared to the other two Spider-Men, and like you cannot tell me he does not have like the fullest arc, the most heartbreaking arc, and the
I
most
know.
like,
No, his it's just
like
he's
he is the definitive Spider-Man, and I do not want to hear it anymore.
I
Andrew
know.
got redeemed, but like Tom is Tom Spider-Man. He's
Yeah. No, I mean he's literally lost like so many people. Like he's lost his parents. I mean, Uncle Ben is like in the. They didn't really explore it. I don't think they ever are going to.
well, they have
Is-
that one series coming out, but I don't know.
Oh, that's
Refresh my
true.
memory.
Yeah, yeah. Because they have like I remember it was rumored from Far From Home because he had Uncle Ben's suitcase.
Yeah,
And
and
everyone thought
obviously
he was gonna show up.
Andrew and Toby talk about it, and he seems to know like what they're talking about with Uncle
Yeah,
Ben.
yeah.
So,
But Aunt May's like become the new Uncle Ben. I'm glad they
Yeah.
did it. So no one wanted to see it again, or like I did not want to see it again.
no, I didn't
Or
either.
even out.
We've seen it twice, and it gets old quick.
But obviously he died in some way, or I'm guessing. So I mean, Uncle Ben, his parents, Aunt May, um, one of the only father figures he's had is Tony Stark.
His friends pretty much died in a sense, like he
Yeah,
lost.
I mean, yeah, and he lost 5 years of his life. Um, uh, and then yeah, I mean, he had to lose everyone else. Just like, no, but dude, it in a way, it's almost worse. Just like seeing them
knowing that they're there, but
and
you
they're,
can't do
but you
anything.
can't. It's just like being put in that situation would just be the worst.
That
Like,
that's why it was so like amazing because he's a kid, yet he still smiled and was just like, yeah, they're better without me. I love these people,
Yeah.
but I can't anymore. It's like,
and dude, and the scene with Happy was just like, oh
oh,
my,
that was so well done. I did not expect that. Like,
yeah.
because Happy's almost been one of his mentors his entire life too, and he's talking to him like
know.
a stranger.
Yeah. But he's talking to him like he's still like happy with his life.
Of course, yeah.
Dude, I'm sad now. I'm gonna
No,
cry.
it is like I'm telling you, man, like it's okay to cry during movies because this is
No,
like
I've cried during so many, like not so many, but like there's plenty. Endgame made me cry. Like I still watching it. I still like tear up at Tony Stark's death and like all the scenes surrounding it. I cried at The Office when Michael left and when it ended. Like there's
Yeah.
just like things in any dog movie, dude. Dog movies worse.
okay, that's not fair. That doesn't count as a movie. That's just torture.
Just pain. But yeah, no, this movie, it's just like, yeah, it has like these funny moments, but it makes it almost worse because you see his character like get along with Zendaya and Ned so well, and then it's ripped away, like it's gone.
Well, and like them crying while they do their handshake, and
I know.
oh, and then it was like what was the other time? I can't remember the comparison, but I know you've seen it, but whatever. He's about to say I love you, doesn't say? She's like, don't like save it
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
When does that happen? It wasn't Endgame, but oh, it was Jim. Michael's about to start talking to Jim. He's like, no, like save it for tomorrow at lunch. But they both
Yeah.
know that's not gonna happen.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah. I get what
it
you're saying.
reminded
I
me
didn't
of
even think about
that.
that. Yeah, yeah.
No, that's
it's like-
immediately what I thought of. I was like, oh
Yeah.
gosh. Tugging at the heartstrings.
no, yeah, it's sad.
But I selfishly, of course, I want Zendaya and Ned to remember it. I know,
I know.
MJ has her pendant or whatever, so I'm sure they could do something with that. She was wearing it still, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they should.
I
going
know.
with
No,
Call
I'm
I
genuinely
just don't
torn
know.
because I want it to go back to the way it was so badly, but it's just like they can't do that. They can't like
And they sent
rewrite
him
these
off so quick.
consequences,
I know.
you know, or like just like they can't
And
get
the
rid
whole
of them.
theme, the whole theme is you can't go back on what happened. Like
Yeah.
the Doctor Strange thing, the
Yeah.
spell. He wasn't able. He ended up losing more than he lost initially
Yeah.
because of his actions. But
Yeah, no, it's just like it's like bringing back Tony Stark. Like as much as I want it to happen, I
just
know you can't do it. Just because it's just like, ugh.
it was worse because they kept reminding me he was a kid. Because Doctor Strange is like, oh, I always forget you're a kid. He's doing his college applications and freaking out about
No,
getting
he's
in.
literally the same age as us.
It's ridiculous. And okay, also it was hilarious when he went to high school or whatever, and his teachers made the little like
That was
shrine for
funny.
it. Like
And the
it's
one
just-
guy kept calling him a murderer.
yeah, yeah. And it's just like little things like that to keep telling you that he's like a child. He's like a teenager.
Yeah.
And he's lost more than any adult will in their entire life. So
Yeah. It's so weird to see like this movie contrasted with Far From Home, which is supposed to be like a balance to Endgame.
Yeah.
Where it's like a happy movie that anyone
and
can
then they
watch. It's
just
just
tore
like,
your heart out.
and this one's just like heartbreaking.
But we talked about how are they going to do the tonal shift from
Yeah,
whatever.
they did it really well.
And they still, I know, I did not expect like the opening scene when he's like running around with MJ. They have that cheery music in the back, and they're picking up the tone from Far From Home so that they can transition into.
Yeah, no, it just
what is it now?
slowly gets darker. Like,
Yeah, Anme's
as
death is
things
just
go
the
on.
shifts. It's like from there on, you were just in a pit.
And the movie just like did not break at all. Like it was constant, just like throwing things at you. Like from the beginning, like it just started off with Peter being accused, and it just like took off from there.
Yeah.
I thought the legal stuff was kind of irrelevant. Just
Yeah.
I mean, I think they only wrote it in just to bring in Daredevil. I'm not gonna lie,
No, I think so too.
because it just went away. It was just like
but
gone.
I like how they address Daredevil when he like does it. He's like, yeah, these legal things are gonna be dropped because like why would Mysterio's like video like honestly go viral?
Yeah,
Because
no,
everyone
that's
knows
true.
Spider-Man's an Avenger, and like there were some people who were like still believe the other side, but there's always gonna be like conspiracy theorists for anything as we've
Yeah.
seen. So I like how they like kept it realistic. Like, yeah, no one's actually gonna believe that largely.
But I thought it was cool to see like the movie as like transition, or these movies have transitioned like so much, just because even the fact that he was arrested like shows how much, just from Civil War, I guess, that there's consequences for everyone's actions now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Avengers used to just be able to do whatever they wanted, and like even Stark Industries was like tangled up in Peter's issues, and they were accused of stuff like,
Yeah, they showed
yeah. And I kept thinking, like, what if Tony was there? Like, he could have got him out, but I don't know if he could have. Like, honestly,
he would have needed Matt Murdock.
yeah. But yeah, no, the movies are definitely going in like a completely new direction. It's so weird because like the only thing that it's relating back to the Avengers anymore is Hawkeye. Like, it's just like,
doing, and they even on Disney Plus they
I know,
changed the banner. Like they're
it makes me sad.
so. I mean, okay, I love Loki, and I'm loving Hawkeye, and
Yeah.
the other projects are okay. Like Shang-Chi, I thought was good, but like this movie reminded me like it's a top 3 MCU movie. Let's be real. It's not a recency like effect. It's like it is like genuinely up there, and it reminded me how good Marvel can be. That's I think why I'm so happy.
No, yeah. Yeah, I still have to think about it. I mean, it's better. My current list is Endgame, Infinity War, Far From Home, Homecoming, Guardians for top 5.
Yeah.
Just because personally I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I know you are too. So like obviously,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
no,
movies
I
are
want to
gonna
talk
be
about
up
that too. We like the other 2 Spider-Man MC movies are still like top 5 for us.
there. Yeah, no,
So
I
that's
love
why
those
this
movies.
like is just.
But this one's just like completely different in every way. Like it's the same character, but it's just like,
Yeah. But how else like I don't, not even plot wise, because we had our like whatever like nitpicky issues, or I did at least, but like what a great way to send off the character into the next trilogy, because like they closed his arc, they expanded on it, and I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird seeing like Peter. He's gonna be on his own. Like I think Joey is saying that they're just gonna pick off where they left off, just in MIT, but I don't think so. Like I don't think they can just go back and he rebuilds his relationship with Zendaya and Ned, because I just don't think that's gonna happen. Like I think
No,
those
don't
characters
either.
have left. Dude, it sucks to like accept that reality that the like
That's
'cause-
why it's so like, because it's the
I know.
right thing, but it's not what I want. It's
yeah.
But okay. The parallels to Tobey Maguire, and I guess people were saying to PS4 Spider-Man, but in the end, he gets his apartment. The dude says rent's due at the end of the month, and I was like, "There's no way they
No,
introduced
dude,
Mr.
I thought
Ditkovich."
I was like, wait, and then
Yeah,
that
but
was
anyway, he
really
gets his own
weird.
apartment, and the guy asks for rent or whatever. He puts his little
Radio.
he has the radio like Toby, but he has his Emperor Palpatine, and he has Zendaya's
Yeah,
coffee
oh,
cup
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And oh my god, I keep calling her Zendaya, not MJ, because
I
whatever.
know.
But he stitches his new suit just like Toby, and he crawls out the window, and his suit is blue and red like everyone's wanted. And it was like, I honestly believe that the last like 15 minutes of this movie were just perfect. I cannot think of a better way to write it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a writer, but like,
No, yeah, they sent him off as like what I said earlier, just like the Spider-Man that everyone has wanted to see. And in a way, I think it's like almost the ending that Andrew should have gotten
yeah.
after Gwen died. Like
Mhm.
this is what they were trying to do, and it just like I mean the parallels to that movie are actually like kind of like he goes to Gwen's grave. Or wait, did that
Yeah,
actually
he does.
happen? Because
Yeah, he
I
does.
just
He
saw a
does.
clip on Instagram of like, you know, the deleted scene where he talks to his dad because
Yeah,
dad's
that was
actually, dude,
weird.
that's so
Yeah,
weird.
I don't
But
know. Yeah.
Andrew's acting is really good. But
No, no, that
no,
scene
yeah,
was actually a good
yeah,
answer.
no, I just saw that scene, but I can't remember. He gets to his grave, whatever, and he like, I mean, he continues to be Spider-Man, and like he fights Rhino at the end, whatever. Like he continues to be Spider-Man even though he's experienced this loss.
Yep.
I mean, it feels the same almost as Tom, but they just did it a lot better. I feel like.
Yeah. For sure. They, as far as Toby and Andrew go, though, like they never had a sense of I need to step up and be mature, which I thought was like that's why I liked how you said they did it in a better way. Like it was thinking back to Civil War when he's like a, like high schooler or whatever,
Yeah.
and now he's literally like he's like Spider-Man. He's not even like a kid anymore becoming Spider-Man. It's not an origin. Like this whole trilogy was like an origin story, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. No, he's like finally become
Like
Spider-Man.
he's as mature a hero, it feels like now as like what Cap and Iron Man would be like in this next trilogy at least. But oof.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe that's why I like Kate Bishop's character so much because it does feel a lot similar to Peter's character in the very beginning,
Yeah.
where it's like so happy that they're getting included in these things and like they're just
Mhm.
excited to be a hero because they're young and naive and just like they don't know what's ahead of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, just like to touch Hawkeye, but like Kate Bishop's character has already started to get some development in the sense that like she has seen what being a hero can cost, like with Hawkeye, and she's like started to realize, especially in episode 5, like she says, like the scene with her mother where she's
Yeah.
talking to her and she's like, man, I could have been anything. Like she was so hopeful, you know. And
Mm.
even though they kind of go back on it a little bit, like she teams back up with Hawkeye, I still think her character learned a lesson. And like has this realization that this isn't as like happy go lucky as you think. And it's similar to Peter's character in Civil War because he's like so excited to be meeting Tony and he just wants to be included in this thing, even though he's like doesn't really stand on a side with the whole Civil War conflict. He's just there for being Spider-Man. And then in Homecoming, obviously, he's like calling Happy every day, telling what he did, even though he did these minor things, Um, yeah. And we've just so slowly seen his character like try to figure out where he stands in the world. Because in Homecoming, he really wants to be Spider-Man. Like he gives up aspects of Peter Parker to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then Far From Home, he wants to be Peter Parker, like he doesn't want to be
Yeah.
Spider-Man
They do the
anymore.
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in this movie, I don't know if he wants to be Spider-Man, but he has to be Spider-Man,
He's forced to,
like
yeah.
he feels like, I mean, he has this responsibility. That's his whole lesson,
Mhm.
with this great power comes
No,
great
yeah,
responsibility.
he's shown that he can't balance life and be Peter Parker, but
Yeah.
he's forced to give up that and become Spider-Man, which is
Yeah.
what he initially wanted in Homecoming, but now it's the harsh truth. So
Yeah. No, it's like, it's not as like exciting
yeah,
as
like,
you
oh, I get
think
to be
for
Spider-Man
Peter.
after school.
Yeah. It's just like
no.
everyone, like he feels like he has to, like this
Mhm.
is his purpose in his life is to help these other people. Yeah, I just Peter's character was done so well. I'm excited for the next college trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how these movies are going to be anymore without like these side characters, unless they come back.
I think it'll honestly be more not crowd pleasing, but I think it'll be more comic accurate in the sense that now they have a blank slate with Peter being an adult almost. He's still in college, but I think they'll be able to introduce more of these villains and these classic ones that people have wanted, because now he's not as much tied to the MCU. Not that he's because no one knows him anymore. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's weird. But is he going to go to MIT?
I don't know if they ever said he got in.
Yeah, I mean, like, what if he just like doesn't go?
I mean,
You know,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the
and he
college
stays
trilogy
in New
literally
York.
means college or he's just like college age.
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel if he goes, then they might, you know, like they might just like reconnect with Zendaya and Ned and whatever.
Yeah.
Because I feel like how can you not if they're there? I don't know.
I would be good with either way because personally, I would love
know.
to see them, but
Yeah.
movie-wise, it's such a great way to send them off.
Yeah. Dude, just like I don't know what's worse, like Ned or MJ, just because Ned is like been there from the beginning and like it just his character goes so well with Peter Parker's.
Way better than Harry Osborn like ever
Yeah.
did. Just in all seriousness.
Yeah.
I the Ned thing hurt because they give so much focus on MJ because it's his love and he's about to kiss her, and then Ned's in the back and he's like Peter's like, I'll find you, and then Ned's like, promise, and he's like in the back like about to cry, and I was like, dude, stop, I cannot like watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Because when they hug at the end of Endgame, it was like already like, oh, and now it's like, oof.
Yeah. But I mean, either way, I feel like Ned is going to stick around just because I feel like they don't give him powers and then just like don't expand on it.
Yeah, that was also really
that
weird.
was so funny. No, as soon as they said
How I
like
feel about that.
as soon as they were like, or Ned was like, yeah, my aunt said that I have some mystical, or like whatever he said, like magic in the bloodline, whatever. I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna do something.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It kind of felt like this is not a Rise of Skywalker parallel at all, but it felt like Rey just being able to force heal. Like he just kind of showed up. He was like, ooh. I was like, oh gosh.
But it was funny still. Where
it was hilarious. No, I don't care. It was just like it was so random. Outside of the movie, let's talk about leaks and the speculation and just how it was all kind of true. Like,
yeah, no, literally, like other than Danny's theory for Mephisto. It's so funny.
The box
like,
was literally just like a thing. Like it wasn't even
just like it was. Yeah. There's no way.
I don't even know, man. But it was
gonna ruin this movie.
It was just they were like everyone's laughing now. Like Soups is just probably crying in the corner of happiness, and all the leakers are just like, yes, you're right. I was right. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I honestly wonder because there's like some leaked images that came out. But like you always in the trailer, like who actually gets these things? I wonder if they intentionally sent some stuff.
I don't know.
I don't want to be like a weird theorist, but like they didn't drop a trailer for the longest time. They didn't even give the poster to like a month before. And they had the actors, Andrew and Toby, who would have reeled in like they already got the crowd, but they like you could have just said those two were in the movie and just everyone would come watch it. But they didn't. They kept it a secret. They had them deny it. Like I feel like they marketed it in a way because they released little leaks and hints so that it would get us talking about it.
No, yeah, I think that has like hold some validity.
Yeah.
Just because I mean it does stir conversation for this movie and like raises the expectations. But it's also like a scary bet because I guess it's coming from them, so it has to be true.
Yeah.
Like if that does happen for a movie, like obviously with WandaVision, where the theory fell through where like Mephisto was not in it.
Yeah, I know.
And it just like ruined the show for everyone. Like no one likes it at this point. Like people who are expecting Mephisto don't like it. People who weren't expecting Mephisto don't like it. They just
fumbled the bag.
Yeah,
dude. This was like not the worst marketed movies, but one of the most delayed and like weirdly marketed movies. But it was like by far the most hyped since like Endgame or Infinity War.
Yeah,
like, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go back to Infinity War. Things are so simple.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I will speculate more because I know Mark wanted to be on one about multiverse and stuff because he said he's like, I have more theories if you guys want to have me on. I was like, all right, Mark.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
But as far as speculation goes for Daredevil, like they released Kingpin the day before and now Daredevil's there. Like
dude, it's just like a weird, not even a coincidence. I feel like it's intentional that the Hawkeye finale was placed right after. Do
you think Daredevil's gonna be in it?
I don't know. That's the only reason, like that, because it wouldn't fit in the show, and they've already thrown in Kingpin and Yelena, where it's like if they throw in Daredevil, I think it'd be a post-credit scene.
Yeah. Please do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, I think that would make a lot of sense for this show, and like Marvel always does post-credit scenes. I think for the last episode, I feel like they've always done that. They don't do it consistently. They only do it for like the last. So yeah, I mean, he wouldn't fit in the finale just because we haven't even met Kingpin yet, so it'd be weird to throw in another character on top of that. Yeah, I don't even know how Hawkeye's actually gonna wrap up because like I there has to be a second season. I feel
Yeah, they're
like
not gonna finish everything. Like I think it will have ties to this, but as
'Cause, like,
Matt Murdock and stuff.
just because Kate's character has not grown to the point where like she can be without Hawkeye. Like I feel like Hawkeye has to stick around for a bit.
No, yeah, I don't think Hawkeye's dying or anything. I think,
And then I don't know if they can just address Kingpin in one episode, whatever, even if it's gonna be a longer one. I mean, they have a lot to close in this.
Daredevil season 4. Do it.
I'm so happy.
If you're gonna tease Kingpin in like a frame, like obviously there's no another episode, but I doubt he's gonna be like a heavy player, like enough, you know. And Daredevil was in it for like a minute. Like I hope they're setting up not necessarily that, but just them and to be together in another project. So
It's gonna be amazing.
and they've
This-
proven
yeah.
like the scene of Peter like beating down Goblin with no
Oh, yeah, we didn't
soundtrack.
talk about this.
Just like threw him and he was like punching him and trying to kill him, and then Toby stopped, whatever. That like it will never be as bloody as Daredevil or anything, but like it showed me that they could do Daredevil, but not as bloody yet still dark
Yeah.
enough, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah, that scene does like it's gruesome, but even without the blood, whatever. But yeah, I mean, just like to see Peter finally break, even with like all these warnings of what happened with the other Spider-Mans and how they had to deal with it. And he's still like he can't. Like I mean, this man just murdered his mom, basically, you know, and like feels no remorse whatsoever. Like he's teasing him about it. Like there's no way that you can't just like go crazy. And even with Peter's character of like this like really good kid who wants to help this like guy,
He just broke. Yeah.
he can't. I mean, I wouldn't. I know for a fact like there's no way.
That's why like his self-control as well when like at the end he gives him the serum and like Green Goblin's like, what did I do? Like he's just
I
like
know, yeah.
like Peter's probably like
Just to not like despise
yeah.
that person.
He's
you
like
know?
he knows it's not his fault, but like he doesn't
Yeah.
know who to blame.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool to see Spider-Man's like actual potential, you know, just because in this movie he kind of clapped like multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Like
went
it
off.
was just like, yeah, you're just getting destroyed. I thought people were gonna talk about it and be like, oh, this is why Toby and Andrews, their Spider-Man was necessary,
Yeah.
so their Spider-Man are better at fighting, whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. But like it really showed that he like it's exactly what Andrew said, like he stopped pulling his punches to the point where he was just like killing him. And like it showed like what he could actually do if he really wanted to, but he's like he's not his character
Going to, yeah.
Yeah, it's
What a
so
great
good.
movie.
Characters that have a moral conflict with like their things, they're just like the best
Daredevil.
kind of characters. Daredevil, Batman, just like amazing.
Yeah. Captain America.
Yeah,
Wow.
such a good show.
I know.
Movie, whatever, everything.
I might have to go since we can wrap it up, but it's just
Yeah.
overall, I don't know what else I would have wanted. Whatever plots I had or like issues I had, I don't really care at this point. The more I think about it, the more I love it. So
This movie is just like so good. Like
they did it. They won.
did.
And it lived up to the
Anything-
hype and more. Like I never would have guessed
exactly.
that.
Like anything I wanted in this movie was just done to perfection. I can't ask
With
for
stuff
more.
I didn't even know I wanted, like
I
Peter's
know,
arc.
yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be a fun time, but it did so much more than that.
What a great movie. Let's go watch it again.
I want to.
Even though the movie was just like tragic, I left the movie theater smiling just because it
No,
was
of course
just
we
amazing.
were all
Like,
talking about it. It was just like there's so many things to talk about, and so many things to
Yeah.
be happy about. And
I
immediately,
was
like,
just
we gotta
happy
get on.
for like the rest of the night. It was just
I'm happy now. Like it is
I
like
know,
I swear
yeah.
it's affected my mood outside of it. Like, oh my gosh.
it's such a great.
And just the end finals and start break with that. It's just like,
Yeah, I know. Finally, yeah.
well, this might be my favorite podcast. This was like amazing to talk. It's just because the movie was so fun.
There's just so much shit. Yeah, so much shit it sucked.
And I mean, now we're gonna have after next week's Hawkeye episode, and we do a review. we're gonna have a pause in MCU content until Multiverse of Madness in May. So I think that's when we go back and we review the MCU and other projects. And yeah,
Unless we do, we'll talk about the multiverse with Mark whenever.
yes, that's also an MCU.
And then also maybe trailer reviews of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I want to do
because
that
I do want to talk about that.
once that drops.
Yeah, the official one. Yeah.
Because I don't remember any of that. I just
It was just
remembered-
like really quick. No, it was like.
But I didn't
scenes were,
expect
like-
a teaser. I expected a scene. So like
I know. Yeah, no, it's weird to see like an actual. But they've done that before, like with
Avengers.
in the Spider-Verse and yeah, Avengers.
Oh yeah, they put the Avengers one at the end of Captain America, right? Is that what they
I think. And then
Yeah.
like Into the Spider-Verse was at the end of.
Venom?
Was it Venom? Oh yeah, it was Venom.
Yeah, they showed a
Yeah.
scene or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm wired.
Yeah, and then we're in Into the Spider-Verse. When is that?
Like late 2022.
Is that actually that far away?
I remember it was farther than I wanted it to be.
Oh, well, that'll be at a time. It's gonna be so long to the next Spider-Man movie. It's okay though.
When's the animated show come out? The
Yeah, that's true.
freshman-
I actually don't know.
I still don't know when that is. We're probably.
It's gonna be weird to see Ned because Ned's gonna be back. That's gonna be that's weird.
Yeah, we'll
that's-
get our
that's
taste,
strange.
and I will love it.
Yeah.
We won't get MJ, but whatever.
Well, she'll be there probably, but not
But-
the same.
Okay.
I hope what's her name is still there.
No.
From the first movie.
Liz.
It's so weird in the one or whatever. Yeah. I think that's it. Right?
Yep.
We talked about the main things. We talked about death or like slash, them
Yeah,
forgetting.
the returning
Those are two main
characters.
bad things. Yeah, the villains, character arcs.
Toby and Andrew, Daredevil.
Yeah. That's
A
pretty
little bit of
much it.
speculation. The plot.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor Strange. I don't really have that much to
I
say.
know. I was
on
gonna
him.
talk
He was
about him.
there.
Just, like,
and I had
he
a
was just
mirror
like
dimension
written
fight.
out, like which
You
I
have
don't.
to. You
I
have
don't
to
really
sideline him.
object. Yeah, no, dude. He's just like.
too good.
Okay, wait. Talk about Peter beat him. Like I just wanna.
Yeah,
That's
with
insane.
geometry.
That was so cool. I'm so glad they did in like an interesting way too.
Yeah, it was cool.
And people were like, "Oh, Doctor Strange wasn't using his full," but like Peter wasn't either. So
Yeah, Peter's not gonna kill him. So.
yeah. So yeah.
Man, there's a lot of clips in this probably.
Yeah, there's been a lot. This movie's just amazing in any way, every way, always. Okay. So I think we're going to wrap it up.
We are. Let me look at the
It
TikTok.
was like an hour long, I think, but
It was.
yeah,
but
there's a lot to talk about in this movie. I think we got it all out there, or at least everything that's major. So yeah, just like overall, 10 out of 10, just really, really good movie. Just from the writing to the fan service, just everything is good.
Here's an added comment. I was looking at our TikToks and someone said Andrew's the goat, and Thomas responded, "Talk to me when he produces natural spider juice."
Yeah. Okay. Talking about the TikTok transition, first time we've ever done that. You guys should go follow it right
Follow
now.
it. It's doing nicely. Not gonna lie.
It is in the description, but it's at the post credits pod, and the Instagram is also the same. So go follow us on there. Also linked in the description. Subscribe because I know you're not, unless you are, but you're not. So you should right now. Do it right now
Yes.
before I finish. Subscribe and like the video. Come back in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hello. Yeah. So I'm glad that you've done that. And then comment down below whatever you want. That's what the comment section is for. I think that's it. Guys, this is such a good movie.
This is good. Go see it.
Yeah, if you have, if you haven't seen it and
It's
you've
good.
watched all
It's a
this,
spoiler review. Anyway,
I'm sorry for spoiling the movie for anyone that just finished this. I mean, I feel like that was implied that this was going to be
yeah,
spoilers.
I don't think they'd still listen if they were scared.
Yeah, so that is going to be today's podcast.
Tune in for more.
Yeah. See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.